What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a rainy one here in Findlay, Ohio, and Anderson and I are out in the beer shed. We cleared through the lake and the river and made our way into the shed to try out a new beer. Now, the beer we have today is called With Hops and Grains, All Things Are Possible. And this is a collaboration brew between Land Grant Brewing out of Columbus, Ohio, and Birdfish out of Columbiana, Ohio. Have you ever had anything from Birdfish?
Yes, I've had a couple beers, but it's been a while. I seem to remember they were all good.
I never even heard of Birdfish until I just saw this can, honestly.
I had them in a couple different tap houses up in Cleveland.
Well, I guess this is from your side of the state, though. Columbiana is east side of Ohio?
Yes, it's
northeast-ish?
It's real close to East Palestine. So I'm sure everybody by this point knows where that is.
Yeah.
So it's in that general vicinity.
Okay. Yeah, I like collaboration beers. It's always cool. We got a lot of stuff going on in this can. It says All Ohio Fresh Hop Kellerbier.
So I picked this up at Ross Deli and Beverage. I always butcher their name because I just call it Ross Beverage, but I think it's actually like Ross Deli and Beverage.
I think it is on check-ins.
And it caught my eye because it's got this stamp here. It's brewed with 100% Ohio grain ingredient, or Ohio grown ingredients. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. And so on the back here it says, this collaboratively brewed Kellerbier was crafted using all Ohio grown ingredients. Pilsner and Vienna malt from New Waterford's Yarian quality malts, if I'm saying that right, and Rustic Brew Farm in Marysville, and freshly picked Ohio exclusive Alley hops from Sony Acres Farm and Barn Talk hops in Wadsworth.
Is Wadsworth down by Columbus?
No, Wadsworth is near Akron.
Okay.
And then you know where Marysville is.
Marysville is at the outskirts of Columbus. And
then what else? I don't know if I'm saying that Yarian correctly.
Yarian? That's what
I don't know.
Yes, Yarian. Quality malts.
And then
Beer with the Brewers podcast.
Yeah, there's in collaboration with Beers with the Brewers podcast or something to do with them. Mm-hmm. And then this also says, what does this say?
Where at?
I might need the
magnifying glass?
No, the flashlight. Because it is an odd color with this lighting.
Kickstarted by Chris.
And Denise
Benner.
Phil Pikelny,
Alice,
Michael Keys, and many others.
So I
wonder what that means.
The Kickstarters was what? Maybe Land Grant or one of these breweries or the podcast?
I don't know.
Or maybe one of the hop farms. I don't know.
Anybody out there would check the Beers with Brewers podcast?
Hey, wait! My series was called Beer with the Brewers for the one time I did it.
We did it twice and failed the second time.
Yes, we did. The audio failure.
Now I can't turn the flashlight off.
The can art's kind of neat, I guess. I mean, it looks like a sunrise over Ohio with some hops and wheat and some different things here, right?
Damn, I stumbled through that. I can't even talk now. That must be my good old public education.
So this thing is 5.9% ABV. Couldn't find anything on IBUs. I don't think it's on the can.
I don't know that you'd have much IBUs with a Kellerbier.
Oh, they're cellar beers. They're okay. I'm not a huge fan of Kellerbiers, really, generally. They're okay. They're there.
But it is pretty neat to have a beer that has all the ingredients from one area, one state.
Well, I mean, I suppose you're pretty lucky in Ohio that you can grow all the stuff you need pretty easily. I mean, it's a great agricultural state, so I guess that's pretty solid. Ratings-wise, does pretty good. Untappd, 3.54. There's only 120 check-ins. Beer Advocate, nothing. Again, only 120 check-ins on Untappd means this probably hasn't been out long. I mean, Land Grant's pretty decent distribution, I would think. I mean, I see their beers pretty regularly, so I'm guessing it's just new. All right, let's drink this, bro.
I can't read the date on the bottom here because it's printed on the rim.
I hate when they print it over so it's like bent and you can't read what it says. It ceases to be useful once it's illegible. I'm just going to say, oh.
What are you doing over there?
A knobhead pour, bro. That's what I'm doing. Or a hard pour. An accidental hard pour.
I mean, the hard pour is great, the knobhead pour is great, but then you have to sit here and mumble about stuff, waiting for it to... Yeah. Although I'm trying to pour it gently, and I'm still getting quite the head.
I didn't hard pour it. I poured it normal, and it just kind of did exactly the same thing as yours. And these have been in the fridge, so they weren't shaken or anything like that. They've been in the fridge since yesterday. So it's nothing nuts like that. Now, if we're going to look at the color on this bad boy, we get our Brew HQ chart.
That's a little hazier than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's a bit cloudy. I mean, it's like a...
Yeah.
I'm looking at this list, maybe 5 or 6 again, like a goldish kind of color.
I mean, I think it's a lighter color than that.
Do you think?
Yeah, the color is, but it's a hazy. It's cloudy.
When you put it to the light, it looks lighter. But when you put it down, like drop it down a bit, it looks a bit darker to me. Maybe when we see it on the film, it'll look a little different. Sometimes it's hard with the...
I mean, I was thinking a 2-3 maybe.
Oh, really? No, I'm going more like...
Because I'm looking at the color, not the cloudiness.
I'm going more like 5. I mean, that made it worse. Head, prolific, right?
Yes.
You can give that head the shocker, bro. There's quite a bit there. That's at least 3-4 fingers of white, frothy head. It's kind of doing a little bit of the island thing on the top, but it looks pretty good.
It's not dissipating very quickly either.
No, not at all. Solid looking, man.
There is some carbonation in there, some tiny bubbles,
Yeah, you see a few bubbles.
but not a lot.
Very fine once again. Yeah, just give it a sniff.
Do get some hops there.
Yeah. A little bit of a hoppy smell.
I'm not getting much else other than hops.
No, just kind
And
of...
not a strong hop, but
No, I mean, I'd say it's kind of like a little bit of a hoppy beer smell, but nothing crazy. I wouldn't say it's super piney or anything like that. I mean, it's not
just
a
the
big-
general hop.
Yeah, light hoppiness to it. All right,
I think
ready
I
to
might
go?
have just got some on my nose.
This is only the second video today, and he's already snorting up the head there, huh? All right, let's give it a shot.
Let's try
brother.
this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Body, medium, definitely. A little bit of viscosity to it. You can definitely feel a little bit of something going on there.
Yes.
Body is actually quite nice. I kind of dig that. Taste, there's a lot going on.
It's more bitter than I expected it to be, but not in a bad way. But it's
Now, I will say this. I guess I had the sneak preview when I had to quickly drink the head when it started overflowing. And the head itself was actually quite hoppy, which surprised me a little bit. Again, for a Kellerbier, too, I think this is probably a little more hoppy than I'm used to.
what I'd expect.
Yeah, for a Kellerbier. That being said, if we're looking at notes, what I pick up, you kind of have like a light bready malt thing. And I think you have a pretty dominant hop taste.
Yeah,
throughout
definitely.
This entire thing.
I mean, you definitely know there's hops in here.
Now, they did say they used multiple different... Did they say use multiple hops? Like from multiple different hop farms or something? Barn Talk hops, Rustic Brew Farm, looks like they make hops, and then Yarren Quality Malts. Maybe we got Pilsner and Vienna Malt from New Waterford's Yarren, Rustic Brew Farm, and Rustic Brew Farm. So I guess the malts are from those two, and then the hops are
I've never even heard of this LA hops.
It's Alleigh.
Yeah.
Alley or Ally? I mean, I think, doesn't it say it's theirs, though? Doesn't it say, like...
LA hops from Sony Acres Farms and Barn Talk hops in Wadsworth.
But it says Ohio exclusive. So
Right,
maybe it's
right.
like a new hop strain that maybe you don't see that much or whatever. I'm not a huge hop head, but I've heard of most of the hops. I haven't heard of that one yet.
No, I've definitely not heard that one.
That being said, it's a pretty strong hop presence in
Yes,
this,
absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
If you like hoppy beers, I don't think this would disappoint you.
No, not at all.
If you're not a fan of hoppy beers, it might be a little too much. I'm not a hop head. I like maltier beers more than hoppier beers. This is kind of on the verge for me, like right on the precipice of my ability to like hops or my
And it's that bittering hop, that bitter hops, not the fruity hop or the piney hop.
yeah.
But it's not the syrupy hop either. It's
I
a clean bitterness.
I tend to prefer piney hops if we're doing hops. This is nice bittering hop, and I think it does what it's supposed to do. I think it's probably just a little too bitter for me. That being said, I don't dislike it. It's just a heck of a lot hoppier than I expected.
It's definitely hoppier than I expected, especially for it being called a Kellerbier.
Yeah, which are usually just
Right. But I don't think it's over the top, like a lot of beers tend to be. A lot of people like try to smash things with hops. I don't think it's over top.
You're not deep throating a pine cone. It's not that or anything.
And unfortunately, not being familiar with these hops they've used, this could be the perfect representation of those hops.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of beers you run into that. that you're either unfamiliar with some of the ingredients or the styles, and it's hard to judge what it tastes like. Or maybe it's just a style you don't like and it's perfect. Like me and the Chiladas. I despise Chiladas. They're the bane of my existence. Yet I accept other people like them and they are good. They just are not for me. This, on the other hand, I think it's solid. I think it's decent. Is it something that I would regularly drink? Probably not, just because it's a bit hoppy, and I think this would probably give me heartburn. But I dig it. I like it. I especially dig the concept. It's all Ohio ingredients. Two Ohio breweries, working together, collaborating here is pretty cool. And I think it's different. I will give it that. 100% different. Not what I expected. And for that reason, I would say with hops and grains, all things are possible. I would give it a thumbs up.
I'd like to know what the Beers with the Brewers podcast had to say about this beer.
Well, we'll check it out if they even reviewed it. Now, you got the price tag on there. What did you pay? $2.49 for that?
So, since he brought up the price tag, yeah, I paid $2.49 a piece for those. Mm-hmm. That's the proper location. If you're a beer store, this right here on this little seam, not covering anything up, that's the proper location for a price tag on a beer.
Not here, right on the part where you're going to drink it. So when you push it in, it goes into your beer. That's freaking retarded. I don't know who does that. Or right on the label, so when you peel it off, it rips the label and scratches it, right?
And we've had this discussion on multiple videos now.
Yeah.
That's the place to go, right there. So
they know what they're doing.
Keep putting it there, right there. But
beer shops, everybody else do the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But back to the beer. I mean, I think this is a good beer. Again, I'm not familiar with these hops, so it could be a perfect representation of those hops. And I was surprised how hoppy it is for a Kellerbier. But that being said, I think it's a good beer. I would definitely drink it again, especially for $2.50. Yeah. Thumbs up for me.
There's a heck of a lot of flavor for $2.50 in there, bro.
Absolutely.
I've paid a heck of a lot more for garbage. So, is what it is. We both kind of enjoyed this. Again, not what we expected, but not in a negative way. It's just, maybe a little more robust with the hops we'd expected, but I think it works out. It tastes good. And especially, it's all Ohio collaboration getting together. Do your thing, Ohio. Stand up. So, with hops and grains, all things are possible. 2 big thumbs up. Hopefully you liked the video. If so, give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had this yet? If you did, you better get in the Untappd because there was only 120 of you that checked in. So let us know what you think about it down below. Hey, till next time. Cheers.